Hey everybody, I'm back. It's been a little while. Okay, it's been a long while. Between the farm and the house, the move, COVID, been a little busy, but finally got, yay, another Baby Lock Crafter's Choice, which is, in my opinion, the best machine to work on feed bags in the magnitude that I work on feed bags. I had the Singer Genie for a long time, still have it. And it works good when you're doing a few, but when you're making like 400 totes a year, plus everything else that I make, the poor Singer had enough. But, so, we're back in business. Alright. We are going to make a crossbody bag, messenger bag, purse, whatever you want to call it. People call it all types of different things and use it for all different things, but that's what we're going to make. So, I already cut the bag. I had started this video about 20 minutes ago and had gone through the whole cutting process, but then the dogs outside are dealing with coyotes, so I had to stop and go down and deal with that. But, okay. So, we cut the sides off into strips, right? So we have the two sides right here. We have the back of the bag. We have the front of the bag. We're going to set these two larger parts aside for the time being. And we're going to focus on making the strap. So, we're going to open it up. And this edge here, you can see it's perforated. That would have been the top of the bag. We don't want that end. We want the bottom. So it's going to be uneven. It's okay. We're going to sew out the unevenness. Not a big deal. We're going to put these two strips face to face. Trying to do this one-handed really is not that easy, but we'll get it done. And we are going to, once we get these lined up, we're going to stitch this across. Okay, I've stitched this. Now we're just going to finger press this seam open a little bit. And now we already have this line that was the original crease of the bag, so we're going to make our life easier. You're going to fold this edge to meet that line. You're going to do the whole length of what is now our strap. So I went ahead and folded both edges in, right? So it's like that, and then, it doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, so we fold it all together, right? Fold it in, fold it again. And then we're going to take it and we're going to stitch along this edge. Just between 1/4 and 1/2 inch in. The whole length. Once you have that side stitch, we're going to go ahead and, go ahead and stitch on this other side. About the same distance, 1/4 to 1/2 inch in, so we have a nice firm strap. Now that we have our strap done, we can set this aside so you can see. I'm going to set that aside, maybe, there. And the back part of what was the original feed bag, so that's this. I'm going to fold it in half. Right. Again, when you cut off the bottom of the bag, it probably isn't going to be straight. Don't worry about it. We will make up the difference when we sew. Make sure. Probably could go up a little bit further. There we go. And then just finger press this part down. It doesn't have to be super firm because this isn't staying. This is just, we're making a guide for ourselves at this point. Okay, so now that we have this folded in half, I usually take it about 1.5 inches up and fold it again. Okay. Now when we do this, again, we're just finger pressing this down. We have it finger pressed down. See? So there's our crease. That's what we're making. Now, you're going to fold this part. So this, okay, let's back up. This is our original crease we did. Then we folded it up again. We made another crease. Now unfold it and roll this up. So this other part of the crease, we're going to firm it back down with our finger. And then this one, this fold here, we're going to fold the opposite way. Okay. Okay, so we folded it that, opposite way. And then this was the other crease we had made. So when we're done folding, this is what it should look like on the edge. And you see that right there? Now we're going to put this in our machine. And I always start at the bottom, just to make sure we get our creases and folds sewed correctly. And you're going to sew it about a 1/2 inch in, all the way up on both sides. Alright, both sides have been stitched. There's one, there's the other, and now we have at the bottom. Up here at the top, you see it's kind of uneven. You can trim it if you want. I'm not gonna. This is our lowest point comparative. Open this seam up a little bit, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna just fold this down, right, all the way around. Finger press it. I folded it all the way down, or folded it down all the way around. And at this point, now we're back to being even. Now you're going to stitch this like this. Again, about a 1/2 inch in. We have it stitched all the way around. And now we are going to turn this right side out. Turned it right side out. See those creases and folds we did? And sewing it that way, that gave us the rectangle bottom that we needed to give the bag some shape. So this will be, this will be the back of our bag. It's got kind of a cute picture. Not all feed bags will have it. Some will just have nothing, some will have writing. But this bag happens to have a cute picture on it. That's good. Now, on this part, we're going to need some hook and loop fastener, otherwise known as Velcro. I'm not supposed to say that, but you'll know what I mean. I happen to have some here. We're going to need about a 2-inch length of it. Okay, here is my 2-inch length of it. This is just the hook side. The loop side, which would be the softer side, save that. We'll use that on the front flap. But I like to eyeball it. Usually I like to do it towards the top. It makes it easier. And if I'm lucky, it won't interfere with the picture on the bag as much. So we're going to go ahead and stitch that down. You're going to stitch this when you put it on there all the way around. So all 4 sides. We have it all attached now, and we're going to take the bottom, the bottom of the bag, take our strap, and at these seams, that's where you're going to match your strap up. And you're just going to do like a front and back stitch on this. Okay, we have both ends of the strap attached. Sew them on the inside of the bag. So you right. And we use that center seam as kind of our midway point on the strap. Now this part we're going to set aside for now. And we're going to move on to the front flap. It is easier if the feed bag you pick out has the picture that we want on the bag, either towards the top or the bottom of the bag. However, I like these bags, the Sweet Mix bag, and the picture's dead smack in the center. But we have a workaround, so not a big deal. It's just easier the other way. So we're going to fold this in half. Match the top. Note here, don't finger press this fold. We just want to match the top and the bottom. That's pretty good. It'll work. Go ahead and stitch on this one. I would say about 1 inch in, because we want to bypass this perforated edge right here. Okay, we have, I say we, it's just me. I have stitched this all the way across. This is where it gets a little tricky when your picture's not at the top or the bottom, but in the middle of the bag. And we have to kind of eyeball this. And I want more of the picture than the word Sweet Mix, because I don't have enough room for both. So what I'm going to end up having to do, because this is a circle, is work it down so that I have the picture all in one area. So you kind of have to maneuver this a little bit and keep looking inside to check and see, do you have it where you want it yet? And that's about what I want right there. So what you're going to do, now that you have it, my finger's holding it in place. Now that you have your picture as centered as you feel comfortable with, and this is our mark. So now we're going to finger press. I finger press this bottom part. The seam, I finger pressed open. And then this top, finger pressed again. We're going to stitch, and it doesn't matter which of these ends, but pick one. And we're going to stitch about, okay, this is the edge of our picture right here. So we're going to stitch about 1.5 inches in. I stitch this down, and then you're going to take your scissors. Don't use your fabric scissors. Use regular scissors. And we're going to cut, I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not, probably not. We're going to cut, maybe I can. Oops. I'm going to trim this better in a minute. Basically, you're going to cut this out. So that way when we turn this right side out, we can get a nice crisp corner. You're going to do this on both sides. So cut, and a triangle cut from your stitch line, and a little bit in, at an angle up until you meet your raw edge. Once you have both corners cut, and I went back and fixed it because now it looks a little cleaner, you're going to turn this right side out. Now that we have it right side out, and see the corners, nice crisp corners. This is our edge that we stitched already. So we want, again, finger press this down. Alright, now make sure we smooth our folded edges down a little bit more, now that we have it right side out. Let's work that down a little bit. There we go. Alright, now let's see how this turned out. Hey, we're pretty spot on. Okay. This edge, I need to note that, oof, and I'll try and walk you through this the best I can. We need to make sure that this flap, the width of it, fits, whoopsie, from this edge around to this edge here. So we're going to line that up, and that'll be where we fold. So I went ahead and lined it up. This was our fold line. So I folded it over like this. No, that is not how it's going to look when we're done. Don't worry. Now, we're going to open this back up. And this crease that we've made all the way around, you're going to fold that in. Just like that. And once you get it all folded in, which I will do in a second, you're going to put it on the machine and you're going to do like just a 1/4 inch in, stitch all the way up that seam to close it. There we have it all stitched down, nice and neat. You can see how we folded it in. Alright. Now, we still have to put on our loop fastener side. And again, I kind of eyeball it. I don't use pins. Pins will make holes in your feed bag. And it's not like fabric where you can kind of use your nail and smooth it back over. It doesn't work on this. So I avoid using pins as much as I can. If you've watched any of my other videos, I'm sure you've heard that a time or two. So I've held up the flap that we just made to the front of the bag where the hook side of the hook and loop fastener is attached. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hands and I'm going to hold the spot on the flap that'll line up with that. It's not scientific, but that's what works for me. I have attached the loop side. Now we are going to put our flap on our bag. So it is very simple to do this part. This is the back of the bag, right? Pretty picture. The front of the flap. You're going to put the front of the flap to the back of the bag. And you are going to line it up in between, I don't know if lap space, in between the edges of the strap. And you're going to stitch it down about a 1/2 inch from the top. Here we have our front flap stitched to the back of the bag, and the flap just folds over. If I don't send it flying off the table. And we have our bag. Add our little tag here to this, and we're good to go. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned how to make some crossbody bags. And you can use them for a lot of different things. I have been known to use one to go out and collect eggs from the birds. I've used them when I've gone out and picked herbs in the garden or vegetables. Used it for a purse, used it for you, name it. I've used it for something. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, and come out and say hi next time when we make notebook covers. Thanks.